Have you ever wondered, why are there people who go through loss, heartbreak, even despair, and yet they still manage to rise with calm eyes and a gentler heart? It's not a miracle. It's a kind of inner strength, quiet, yet enduring. The kind of strength that doesn't require you to act tough, yet still keeps you steady. The kind of strength that doesn't demand external victories, only that you don't abandon yourself inside. If today you're feeling tired, confused, or simply longing for a little balance, this video is for you. At Buddha Balance, we don't talk about distant, mystical things. We simply sit down together, take a deep breath, and learn how to return, little by little. And if something in these words has gently touched something within you, please hit the subscribe button as a small promise to yourself. I will learn to stand steady, not by bracing myself, but by returning home to who I am. And if you feel that someone else might need this too, please share it. Sometimes, a single video can be like a quiet hand on your shoulder, saying, "You are not alone." Now then, shall we begin? Part 1: Recognizing Spiritual Strength. From the illusion of perfection to the journey of awakening. Have you ever scrolled through Facebook or Instagram, seeing people smile brightly on beaches, live in beautiful homes, raise well-behaved children, and build successful careers, and quietly asked yourself, am I doing something wrong with my life? Often, it's not jealousy we feel, it's pain. Pain from the wounds we carry, the imperfections we hide, the hollow spaces inside us. While others seem to shine with happiness, we feel small, ashamed, and left behind. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha teaches, the mind is the forerunner of all things. Whatever we think, we become. So when we feel anxious, bitter, or weary of life, the first place to look is inward. Could it be that we're clinging to an illusion? The Buddha calls this Maya, illusion, the painted veil that hides the true nature of life. The illusion we see on social media or in daily life is not the real issue. The real problem lies in how we interpret it, compare ourselves to it, and identify with it. The more we believe others have it easier, the more we drain our own spiritual strength. Silent comparison, even if it lasts only seconds, can plant seeds of inadequacy, envy, and lack. The pain behind the "I'm fine" mask. Many of us carry a polite smile like a mask. We say "I'm fine" because we don't want to bother anyone, because we think complaining is weakness, or because we fear that if we admit we're in pain, we'll fall apart. In Zen Buddhism, this is known as being crushed under mistaken identification, meaning we tie our sense of self to what society deems successful, strong, or admirable. And when life doesn't go our way, we hurt not only from a loss, but from denying ourselves the right to hurt. Buddhism doesn't ask us to become hard as steel. On the contrary, the Buddha teaches that softness and emotional honesty are the beginning of wisdom. In the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, he says, to truly understand suffering is not to avoid it, but to see through it with mindfulness. We move through suffering, not to become numb, but to see clearly. No one can awaken if they live in constant denial of their feelings. Wisdom only blooms when we dare to be fully present with even the darkness inside. The hidden cost of negative thinking. There are thought patterns that seem harmless, yet quietly erode our spirit day by day. For example, when we believe we are victims of fate. I'm unlucky. I always get the short end of the stick. This is ego clinging to a fragile, helpless identity that leads us to avoidance rather than action. Others are the cause of our pain. She hurt me. He ruined my life. Here, we hand over our emotional power to someone else. But the Buddha reminds us, others may speak or act, but it is our response that brings suffering or peace. The world owes us fairness. If I live well, I deserve good things. I've suffered enough, life should repay me. This is conditional thinking, a faulty expectation that often leads to resentment when reality doesn't meet our ideals. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha teaches, all things arise from conditions, nothing happens by chance or without cause. This means everything has a reason, but not everything happens when we want it to. If we fail to recognize these patterns of negative thinking, we live as though guided by shadows, mistaking them for truth. But in reality, they are just distorted mirrors of the mind. And the cost of this confusion? A loss of connection with our true self, and the gradual erosion of our ability to restore inner strength. Part 2, Recognizing the Roots of Suffering, the Key to Truth. Death, loss, and invisible beginnings. No one is ever truly prepared for the death of a loved one. No matter how many books you've read, how much advice you've heard, or how often you've reminded yourself that life is impermanent, the moment of real loss still breaks your heart. It might be the sudden passing of someone close. A relationship that ended after years of devotion. A dream that crumbled despite all your efforts. Loss doesn't only happen at the cemetery, it lives in empty afternoons, in meals that no longer feel whole, in memories that can never be repeated. And yet, paradoxically, it is often in the very moment we are broken down that we are given the chance to begin again, more honestly. Because with nothing left to cling to, we are forced to return. Return to ourselves. Return to the question, if everything can be lost, then what is truly real? Buddhism calls this right view of suffering, not avoiding it, not sugarcoating it, but recognizing the first noble truth in full. Suffering is real. No one awakens while running from pain. In the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha once asked his disciples, "What is the greatest obstacle on the path to awakening?" Some said desire. Some said anger. But the Buddha replied, "No. It is the habit of running away from painful emotions. We fear the feeling of loss. We fear weakness. We fear falling into darkness with no way out. So we distract ourselves with work, entertainment, food, social media, just to avoid facing what's clawing inside. But emotions that are denied do not disappear, they sink, get buried, and return stronger. A heart tightly compressed can never bloom. The Buddha never taught us to become emotionless machines. He taught us to see suffering mindfully and embrace emotions with compassion. To sit with our pain the way we would sit beside a friend who is weeping. Not rushing to fix it. Not forcing ourselves to move on. Just being there, fully present. Great losses, sacred fires of transformation. Some pains change us forever. Not because they are cruel, but because they shatter the protective shell we've built, the mask we wore to avoid facing our true selves. These events, in their own way, draw us back to the most honest, fragile, and vibrant part of the soul. When you lose someone you love, you can no longer pretend. You can't delay living truthfully anymore. What once seemed important now feels meaningless. What once made you angry no longer deserves your energy. Great loss brings us back to simplicity, to what truly matters, who is actually living this life. And for what? That's why great upheaval often accompanies awakening. Like a storm, it clears away what no longer serves you, toxic relationships, limiting beliefs, false identities. Loss strips away the excess, revealing your core, where the mind can be reshaped by the light of mindfulness. Buddhism calls this adverse conditions as spiritual causes, uninvited challenges that can carry deeper transformation than 1,000 lectures. We don't need to seek suffering, but when it comes, welcome it like a stern yet compassionate teacher. So if you are in a dark chapter right now, please don't despair. This is not the end. It may be the door. Not a door that leads you back to the past, but one that opens into the now, where you begin to live as someone new, courageous, clear, and more true than ever before. From recognizing suffering to inner strength. Spiritual strength is not the ability to suppress emotion. It is the courage to face it, to be fully present with even the emotions that shake you to the core. It is the strength to rise while still wiping tears. To choose kindness, even when the world feels unfair and your heart still aches. You don't need to be strong right away. You don't need to prove you're okay. But you do need to be honest. That you are hurting. That you are tired. That you need time to heal. And from that honest ground, a quiet strength begins to return, not dramatic or loud, but steady, deep, and real. That is the kind of strength no one can take from you. Because it doesn't come from outside, it is born within you. From the moment you dare to walk through pain without losing compassion for yourself. From the moment you choose to stay with yourself in the storm, instead of running away. This is the foundation of inner freedom. And it is also the beginning of any true journey of healing and lasting transformation. Part 3. Cultivating spiritual strength, starting with small daily habits. Strength doesn't come in a moment, but in every moment. There is no grand moment that suddenly makes you strong. There is no magical touch that erases pain, dissolves doubt, or wakes you up with a fearless heart. Spiritual strength is the quiet result of countless small choices, choices made without applause, without a spotlight. It's when you choose to get out of bed after a sleepless night, even when your spirit feels heavy. It's when you walk forward in silence, without needing anyone's recognition. It's when you choose to stay with your sadness, not rushing to stay busy and forget. It's when you choose kindness, even when your heart still aches. It's when you choose not to retaliate, even though you could. These small, daily choices are the foundation of an unshakable inner life. Buddhism calls this right effort, not forcing yourself to be positive all the time, but gently staying committed. It means planting seeds of goodness in your mind, compassion, patience, mindfulness, and tending to them patiently with breath, awareness, and self-kindness. Not expecting instant flowers to bloom, simply not abandoning the garden within. Spiritual strength doesn't come from striving to rise high once, but from choosing not to fall over and over again. Build one small habit, then another. A spiritually strong person isn't strong just because they overcame a major storm, but because they've trained their mind to respond wisely, even in the face of small challenges. Here are a few habits you can begin practicing today. Start your morning with 1 minute of silence. Instead of checking your phone, close your eyes and ask, what do I need most today? Maybe it's peace. Maybe it's gratitude. Maybe it's forgiveness. There is no right answer, only honest ones. Write down one thing you're grateful for each night. No matter how your day went, choose one thing to be thankful for. A warm meal. A kind look. Or simply the fact that you're still here, breathing, living. Practice pausing before you react. When you're about to get angry, hurt, or impulsively react, try stopping for just 3 seconds. Inhale, exhale. Those 3 seconds can bring you back to yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. How many times have you scolded yourself? Today, try a new voice. Instead of saying, I'm terrible, say, I tried. Or, I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm learning. Sit with your emotions instead of escaping. When you're sad, don't rush to watch a movie. When you're anxious, don't scroll mindlessly. Try sitting still for 5 minutes. Feel the emotion fully. That is a powerful meditation in itself. Light emerges through consistency. These habits may seem small, but practiced regularly, they begin to reshape your inner architecture. You no longer react unconsciously. You begin to create space to choose how you respond, with understanding, with compassion, with wisdom. In the Dhammapada, the Buddha teaches, the mind is the forerunner of all actions. When spoken or acted upon with a pure mind, happiness follows like a shadow that never leaves. It's this consistency in daily choices that weaves the fabric of a new life, strong from the inside out. Conclusion: you don't need to be perfect to be steady. You don't need to be someone who never breaks. You only need to be someone who dares to gather the pieces and put them back together with honesty, compassion, and patience. You don't have to always be positive. You just need to not abandon yourself, even on your darkest days. Remember, spiritual strength isn't a destination. It is the path itself, walked breath by breath, day by day. This path may not always be easy, but it promises one thing: if you keep walking, it will lead you toward light. And that light is you. Thank you for walking this journey with me. If this video spoke to your heart, please share it as a quiet gift for someone who may need it today. And if you feel this place offers you a gentle space for the soul, please hit subscribe so we may meet again whenever you need a place to come home to. Buddha balance, where you don't have to be perfect to be loved.